Hey y'all, this is Michael David Cobb Bowen here. I know if you've seen me on video in the past couple weeks, you can see that I'm now reverting to the mean of my natural colors. It's growing back. I feel like I'm more like me. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to shout out thanks to all the people who really like my Blickety Black Impulse essay. Um, I did something a little bit different there, which was go through some history of my own self. Um, but anyway, I while I want to take advantage of some of that popularity that I've gotten over there, talking about my blackness or lack thereof or whatever it is, um, to say a couple things that I think probably didn't come across clearly because when you're writing, there's only so much that you can say, whereas when you're just running off the cuff, running off your mouth off the cuff, like I am, you can go into all kinds of tangents that wouldn't make sense in text. Um, I think the first thing is to underline two things, which seem to be contradictory, but they're not. And the thing is that if you don't believe in race, it doesn't mean that you don't believe in black people. That's it's just race is not the most important thing about black people to me. That's because I understand black culture, not just one black culture, but multiple black cultures. And quite frankly, I haven't said it enough. I'm really appreciating um, the first and second generation Nigerian Americans that I've been meeting and that I've been recognizing in their names as I see them in social media. Um, that's a very interesting dynamic, but that's not the second thing. The second thing is how you can decide, like I have, not to second guess black people and still not discount who they are or where they're coming from. Whether or not they're stuck in first gear or they got one wheel in the sand or they're like cruising down the superhighway of life. Um, I just take black people as they come, and I try to. Um, I just don't think I have a bunch of implicit assumptions that have to do with politics or race or religion or ethnicity. Um, there are patterns, but I know anybody and everybody can break the pattern. And I know there's also, kind of signaling where people are saying, I am black in this particular way that I want you to notice. And I don't bother to do that. I say I'm a Californian American and I say that I'm Gen Z and I say that I'm not political and I say that I'm stoic and I say that I admire Christian ethics and that my family has a history of service to the country. That's about it that I say. That's it's black, and I will call out specifically my black credibility cookies and say this is one of the reasons that I say that I'm black, or this is what part of black culture I participated in with enthusiasm and gusto. Um, but I can't expect you to guess those things. I think most people will look at me and just say, well, he's an ordinary, good looking, smart black man. So that's all there is to it, which is good. I don't need to be any of all those other things. I don't need to represent. I am my name. My name is not black. My name is Michael David Cobb Bowen. And I distinguish myself from other Michael Bowens by putting in my middle name. And that's talking about my family. So, I once did for fun 100 obscure facts about me, trivia. Like, do you know Michael Bowen? Yeah, I know this about him. I know that about him. And I don't necessarily strive to be consistent across all the people that I talk to. Not saying that I'm code switching or anything like that. The fact of the matter is, I'm pretty fluent in language, and I pretty much, when I'm talking to people of different, speaking English a different way, I can't help but I started to talk like that. And it was so weird when I got to New York. I will speak like Mexican, like I got a Mexican accent, and the Puerto Rican says it's a different way of saying things which was really strange for me, especially in Miami too. Miami, they were talking about, man, you sound like Mexican, and I'm like, yeah, that's the Spanish that I grew up with, and I played soccer with in high school, and I feel a little bit sorry for them losing the game to England, but England was a better team, and Mexico had plenty of chances uh, to equalize and go into penalties, but they didn't because that goalkeeper, the English goalkeeper, was on his game. He stepped up for real. Anyway, um, black fatigue is a term that I use like a hashtag. It's like I don't have it, I don't think about it, and part of that's kind of my problem, which is I am so agnostic to race that I don't look for black issues. I don't care about black issues. I don't think there's a such thing as black issues. And you have to hear that from somebody who thinks of Christianity as a philosophy. All right. In terms of the way I look at history and I look at humanity, Christianity is a philosophy. Uh, Kantian view is a philosophy. Hobbesian view is a philosophy. Rousseauian view is a philosophy. And now I'm about to get all up in John Rawls' case because I tend to look at philosophy as the thing behind a lot of what we do, and it constrains what we all think. It's the king of everything. It is the meta humanity of humanity that people have, brilliant people over time, across time, have figured out this is why human beings behave in a certain way when they're thinking about how they're going to move their life forward. It's not instinctual. It's not psychology. It's not anthropology. And it's certainly not sociology. So I'm not looking at people generally like from a political lens or a sociological lens. I do pay attention to class, and that's just a habit of mine because I wanted to differentiate myself as a black person. And that's because my parents did that. And that's why my father went from Negro to black, and he was one of the thinkers that thought us through black nationalism and the black arts movement because he was with the Watts Poets and he started the Institute of Black Studies. And so there's a kind of depth of a particular kind of black person that I was growing up that failed to materialize a lot of things that people were dreaming about. And I say that same failure the way that Catholics who are ex-Catholics know the Catholic Church. I say that the same way that uh, Democrats who are now kind of independents say that about the Democratic Party. I say that the same way of people who worked in large corporations now prefer to be entrepreneurs say about the large corporations that was their goal as a younger person. So, yeah. So I know that people get disappointed and their ambitions turn and they try to see a bigger picture. And that's all I'm saying that I'm doing. There's nothing black that particularly offends me. I don't care that black people are acting up on a Carnival cruise. That's what they want to do. And Carnival Cruise is taking their money, so that's what Carnival Cruise wants to do. So that's a market, and let them enjoy that. If you want to go to Waffle House and get in a brawl, Waffle House is all about it. They're like, hey, come on in, and so there's there's a time and a place for everything and everyone. But I don't have to like them equally. But I also don't have a prejudice that makes me say, oh, you're black, so you must be part of this black fatigue thing. And I'm not saying that at all. So I don't assume. Well, I hope that I could correct your assumption that I would be anti-black or pro-black in any significant way, because that's a that's a childish thing I put away. Again, it's just my way of looking at the world, and I happen to believe that I've seen a little bit more of the world than the average ordinary peasant, but I'm still calling myself a peasant. And doesn't mean I don't understand what the geniuses are all about. So I guess that's all I need to say. And how would I put this? I don't know where I'll publish this. I'll publish this on my regular YouTube, and then whoever sees it, and I'll put it into. It'll just be one of those side things that help explain for me to make it clear in an emotional, personal way, rather than writing an essay. That's all. Ciao. I always have to smile so I get the right thumbnail.